Jordan Poole hits the game-winning shot to beat the Charlotte Hornets 113-110 at Cap One. 6 Wizards in double figures. Good victory, but you got to play all 4 quarters. So we're going to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly for tonight's victory over the Charlotte Hornets. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's really good, everybody? It's your boy Brendan Scott again with my guy AB. And look, your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Wizards daily newsletter, one-stop shop for the ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign up for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com and start your day with the all-new free Locked On Wizards newsletter. Tonight's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. All right, everybody. Look, we'll take this victory. Man, really close victory, but they get it done. Jordan Poole hitting the game winner, 113-110 in Capital One. I mean, this is a good victory, AB. I mean, really, really good victory from the Washington Wizards. Now, they did keep it close, and that's what I'm saying, man. You got to play all 4 quarters because when we went into the half, we were up. In that third quarter, time and time again, we catch ourselves kind of asleep at the drive, and at the steering wheel, man, following the half. And the Hornets came close to sneaking us tonight, man. So, like I said, really good victory. We'll take this. And obviously, we dropped to, we're still at 5-23. But look, this is a good culture win for the Washington Wizards. And Jordan Poole, man, come on now. Jordan Poole went out with an injury. I mean, he came back in, did not expect him to come back in, show leadership. He came in, got it done, hit that dagger. So AB, real quick, from your analysis tonight, what is the biggest storyline tonight? JP13 hitting that game-winning 3, or the Wizards kind of almost giving the game up and not playing 4 quarters? What do you think?
For me, man, it's got to be JP. People have, there's a lot of haters on him last year after that terrible first half performance and his ability to close out the second half of last year. And now this year, really, for some people thinking that this guy should be traded, I do not think so. I think he's a very cornerstone piece of this franchise, and what a shot by him. I told you before we went on live, but I thought that was a foul by Josh Green. The refs didn't call it, but they'll call basket interference to Alex Saw when he's clearly off of the cylinder, which I don't know what that was, but great win by the Wizards. Kind of reminded me of the old Wizards where they're up by a lot and they let the other team come back. Although it was too close to comfort, but that's when you're an NBA team, when you're a young NBA team, to find a way to win in such a close game. That's what you like to see, especially as a young team when the trade deadline's coming up.
No, I agree. And talking about Jordan Poole, everybody knows how I feel about Jordan Poole, man. I'm a big fan of his game. I'm a big believer that he is definitely part of the future here in the district, and I think he's proven that time and time again this season. Now, here's the biggest thing. So anybody that doesn't want to hear him in trade reports, look, here's the thing. The better he is, the more interest he's going to get around the league. And it is what it is. That's the nature of the NBA. But, last year, you already mentioned the last year was a hard year for him. Up and down, very roller coaster season for him, struggling in the first half, relegated to 6-man row, flourish, Tyus goes down. He becomes a starting point guard. He flourishes again, really proved his worth to his organization. Fast forward to this season, in the offseason, he put the work in, working. Definitely refining his game. Having a good influence on other players who had definitely put the time in their games in Bilal Coulibaly, which I think they formed a really nice 1-2 punch. Obviously, Kyle Kuzma's out, and, we do miss his offensive production. But long term, that 1-2 punch with him and Bilal is money, man. Jordan Poole, again, he has proven every area that people have criticized him, he's shown them where he can flourish. Leadership. He's shown tremendous leadership this year. Coming back injured. And then, like I said, with the injury, I'm 50-50. On one hand, it's like, I could respect that. He comes back in from injury. He comes back in, hits the game winner, contributes, shows toughness. And that's definitely leadership by example, showing toughness. You want a guy that's going to go out there, look, over the course of an NBA season, there's going to be wear and tear. It's going to be wear and tear. It's going to be guys, nobody's 100% at this stage in the season. And that's why, the All-Star break, the holidays, these certain breaks are big for players because this is a long year, and it ain't baseball, but still 82, man, is a long stretch. So he came back in, and I thought that was a really good leadership moment because he could have easily just set for the rest of the game. No, he got back in the game, and it clearly showed. I think LaMelo kind of grabbed him real quick, and you could show he was hurting. So the leadership. But, wow, game winner? Come on, man. Like, Well, you got to put some respect on his name, in my opinion. You have to put some respect on his name because time and time again, he has stepped up big for the Washington Wizards this year. Stepped up big. So, yeah, I get it. A lot of people, including myself, I'm a big fan of his game, even though I'm very unbiased when it comes to the business of the NBA. Look, everybody's tradable. But here's the thing. He hasn't even his prime yet. I mean, this is a guy who like I said, I keep using the same phrase, but time and time again, he proves the doubters wrong. And he's played high level basketball. He's put this team on his back. And what else could you ask for? I mean, like I said, there's going to be a lot of hard choices within the next 2 to 3 years. Obviously, when you look at the long-term picture as far as contracts, but give him the keys for the next 2 to 3. Give him the keys for the next 2 to 3 years. And after 2 to 3 years, when Bilal's up for that extension, if he's worth his weight in gold, sign him to a long-term deal, straight up. And then you still got the money at that point to re-sign Bilal, to go get Alex Sarr, to start re-signing these young guys. But give him the keys because we're talking about guys, Jonas Valanciunas has played well. Malcolm Brogdon has definitely played well, AB, but Kyle Kuzma, but Jordan Poole has proved that he is definitely a cornerstone for the franchise going forward. So, I mean,
let me ask you, be my bad. I was talking about this with my friends. Do you think it's too much of a stretch to say all-star this year?
Well, and I thought this with Kyle Kuzma the last couple of years, and I believe that Kyle Kuzma played up to an all-star level the last 2 seasons. The biggest thing is the NBA, for some reason, goes off of team performance. And I kind of like the whole model that Major League Baseball does, where every team has a representative. Like, we all know the Nats been trash, but they still have a representative in the All-Star game. The year before last, it was Josiah Gray. Last year, it was C.J. Abrams. So every team needs representation. But that's going to be the one factor that holds him back because he's an All-Star. Come on now. He's played at All-Star level. And like I said, the previous 2 years, if you look at the stats, Kyle Kuzma was an All-Star. But the team performance, and that was a question I asked Kyle Kuzma at Media Day. I said, look, is this the year you can All-Star? He said, look, it's not up to me. It's up to the voters. I mean, team performance, for some reason, holds people back from All-Star berths. And do I think he's an All-Star? Absolutely, without question. But that's going to be the one thing, AB, that's going to hold him back from getting an All-Star berth is going to be team performance. So unless you're retiring, and in Kobe's last year, he got an All-Star game in the worst year of his career. But that's what it is. And like I said, I truly believe that we need to emulate Major League Baseball and send a representative from every team to the All-Star game because there's players on these teams that are really bad who are shining. And Jordan Poole is one guy who is shining, and not only him, but Lau needs votes for most improved player. Let's call it like it is. For him to break out year 2, there's 3 factors for that. Who do you give kudos to from Bilal breaking out this year? Well, that's easy. Himself, putting that work in off season. That is a grown man move. Working off season, not just going on vacation, not just chopping it up, going hanging out in these all white parties. I mean, he is putting in that work. He's going into the gym. He's working. Jordan Poole, his leadership has shown, AB. It has shown time and time again with taking that Bilal under his wing very early on in the process, very early on in his tenure in DC. And Brian Keefe. Yes, a lot of people have been on Brian Keefe's butt. And like I said, there's certain areas where I do want to see some improvement. But look, he's a first-time head coach, and his development resume speaks for itself. So that's the biggest reason why he's here. Is not, he's still learning the X and O's and how to be a head coach. He's been an assistant his whole career. So we got to give him a little bit of rope, man, because this is his first time being the guy. It's different being an assistant coach on somebody else's staff. Running your own staff carries its own, trials and tribulations, man. So, good victory, AB. Good victory for the Washington Wizards tonight. I mean, if we look at the stat lines real quick, 6 players in double figures. I mean, let's talk about Bilal real quick. Bilal, 20 points, 6 for 16 for the field, 2 for 7 for 3. So the efficiency, but he was aggressive. Alex Sarr showed glimpses tonight, especially with his blocks, 3 blocks, 15 points. But the second unit needs some love tonight. Corey Kispert, 13 points. Malcolm Brogdon, 11 points, 6 assists. Jonas Valanciunas, 14 points and 12 rebounds. Good Lord. I mean, obviously rebound needs to get better, but it ain't because of Jonas Valanciunas, AB. I'm saying he's putting in that work. So, like I said, we're in a good place. This is a good culture win for the Washington Wizards because Jordan Poole, man, I say time and time again, I'm a realist here. You know me, AB. I'm a realist. I understand the business of the NBA. And like I said, the better he is, the more interest he's going to get. Like I said, Denver's looking at him. And which is funny because he just dropped the 39 piece on the Denver Nuggets. And then he said, hey, maybe we might want him on the team. So Jonas Valanciunas got to get some love around the league. I mean, Malcolm Brogdon, we keep him healthy. We're going to be able to move him. So, which kind of leads into the next subject that we're going to talk about after the break, which is Kyle Kuzma. And the reports came out that 2 first-round picks just ain't gonna cut it now, man. So we're gonna ask the question tonight: is he still worth 2 first-round picks, or is more, or could we expect a first round pick and a young player, or could the asking price? How low could the asking price get? We're going to talk about that next. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by Game Time. You guys knew me. I go to games all year long. Baseball season coming up in April, so I'm definitely looking forward for that. But right now, basketball season, looking at my Wiz, looking at George Mason, and football season about to finish up. So, look, I've used every ticketing app in the world, man. And to me, Game Time's the best. And there's three main reasons why. Well, number one, Game Time picks. Creation makes it easier to save money on sports tickets, but it ain't just about sports, y'all. Concerts, comedy shows, theater events, etc. What else? All-in pricing. Talking about this feature shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. So a $50 ticket doesn't end up being a $90 ticket. You get your money's worth. Talking about money's worth, see views. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy your ticket so you know exactly what your view is and if you're getting your money's worth. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time, baby. Tonight's episode is also brought to you by Rocket Money. So, did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? That happens to me all the time, y'all. I had a few subscriptions that I didn't even realize I was paying for, and Rocket Money made it easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances, because Lord knows I needed help. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether it's subscriptions, your spending habits, or even the goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved over a total of $500 million. Good Lord. And cancel subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. I mean, look, I ain't like I was when I was younger when I spent money like water. But the older I get, I want to keep track with my expenses. And we all have, Netflix and all these different expenses that we often forget about, man. So definitely utilize Rocket Money, y'all. Definitely utilize Rocket Money. It would help you out. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. All right, AB, let's get back into this thing, man. So before we get into comments, y'all, the question tonight, like I said, I kind of covered this a few videos ago, but the report came out that he's not getting the attention around the league in the trade market like the front office of Will Dawkins and Michael Winger kind of expected. And I guess it's going to be kind of a two-part question for you real quick, AB. I mean, number one, was last year the best chance to get a sizable return for Kyle Kuzma? And two, what is a realistic asking price right now? I mean, do you just kind of expect a first-round pick and a prospect or inspiring contracts, or what kind of package do you really realistically expect?
It's crazy because at one point it was 2 first-round picks, and now if you say that, it's like teams are going to think you're crazy if especially Kyle Kuzma, the way he's been looking out there. I mean, plus you add the injury fact recently, and it's just, again, like it's last year when he declined to go to the Mavericks go to the NBA Finals. It's just Kuz, man. He's just it's just so funny. But right now, I could see a first and a young kid, and that's a young guy prospect. That's what I'm hoping for, honestly, at this point. Like, obviously, you want as much draft capital, as much help as you can. It does suck that at one point it was that high, but at the end of the day, you got to keep moving forward, and that's what hopefully Will Dawkins and his crew will do.
Yeah, like I said, I'm a big fan of the front office, man. I think it's way too early to judge them. I think that they've already shown that the year is better than Tommy Shepard and Ernie Grunfeld. Lord have mercy. But I'll say this: last year was the best chance to get a sizable return. You get, and I said it last year. I said I'm gonna say it this year. I'm probably gonna say it within the course of the next 2 to 3 years, y'all. Which is looking at the market is like the stock market, the trade market, the NBA landscape. You have to catch the market at the right time and really move these guys at maximum value. And last year was that time. Now there's a lot of unknowns, right? Looking at the Dallas Mavericks deal or the potential Dallas Mavericks deal. They asked him if he wanted to go. He said no. Rumor had it we had to absorb Grant Williams. So all in all, was it probably a good thing we didn't make that deal? Yeah, because Grant Williams now is out for the rest of the year, I believe, towards ACL. We would have had to absorb his contract. So in hindsight, maybe it was a good deal not trading him. But then I feel like, draft night was a good situation, because if you really look at the situation where, all right, how could we still be in a situation to get Bub and Keyshawn George? you move Kuz at what? At 13 to Sacramento. And I could easily take Trey Lyles and Kevin Herter, the 13th pick, and call it a day, and maybe, some additional compensation. But I feel like draft night was the better out of the two situations to move on from Kuz, in my opinion. So I would have moved him on draft night because, like I said, the Dallas Mavericks move from both parties. Would they have still made the finals with Kuz instead of PJ Washington and Gaff? You can argue that PJ Washington and Gaff fitted, they fit better. But I would have moved him at the draft because you still retain Denny, you still get Bub, and you still get Keyshawn George. So, like I said, in hindsight, everything's in hindsight, right? But looking forward, fast forward to this year, man. 2 first-round picks ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. I mean, if you bet on that, you must well just throw your money out the window right now because it ain't happening. You're probably looking hopefully at a first-round pick because, like I said, the fact that not many teams are interested right now tells you that. Look, all due respect, okay, Kyle Kuzma is a guy who could be a productive scorer. If with his size, with his ability to drive the lane, use his body to get his in the best position to score, can't take it away from him. But the inefficiency, look, we're not the only fan base or team that sees that. Other factors, without scoring, defense is something that goes back and forth, up and down. So outside of scoring, what does he provide? And like I said, there's no knock against Kuz because I think he's a highly productive player. But here's the thing: if you're a team that's looking to add a piece at the deadline for a playoff push, you got to look at that contract a little different now. Where before it was like, all right, it's a team-friendly deal. The Wizards got a guy where you take the brunt of the offensive pressure for a couple of years, not breaking the bank to keep him. We're expectation with the salary cap, anyways. But then you look at the trade market. At one point, like you said, the expectation was, all right, teams can go out here and grab this guy and don't have to break the bank to do so. But then that contract kind of looks like, are you willing to give, to absorb that contract? If for a guy where, he's too reliant on the jump shot, defense, at times is up and down. There's games where he's good on defense, there's games where he's lost. So like I said, I like Kuz. I like his game. But I think the writing's on the wall with the Wizards trying to do and the direction they're going. Like I said, I think Kuz grew up in DC. Totally different player than he was with the Lakers. Very immature with the Lakers. Him and Lonzo doing a little social media stuff, and it was annoying at times. But he grew up, and you can argue to a certain degree he was already a man, but he kind of became a grown man here in DC. Became a complete player here in DC. Showed some leadership, but it's time. It is. It's time to move him. But here's the thing. I kind of mentioned this before, AB, and I'm going to ask you real quick. Does it mirror the Bradley Beal situation to a certain degree? And hear me out. Because we waited too long to move Bradley Beal. The best time to move Bradley Beal was what? When Russ went to the Lakers. The Golden State Warriors were on record saying that they had a package where they were offering the 7th pick, the 14th pick, Andrew Wiggins, and Wiseman. And that was the best chance to move on from Bradley Beal. So the question is for you real quick, man, and I see shaking your head, is are we in another Bradley Beal situation where we waited too long to get value from one of our star players?
As much as I hate to admit it, yeah, man. I mean, you just reminded me of that, and that's just crazy. At one point, that was the deal for him. And again, like, I'm hoping this is the last mishap because obviously, that was with the past regime with the Wizards, with the whole Bradley Beal situation and how much money they gave him. I mean, it was just sunk cost at this point trading him. But for Kuz, I mean, yeah, like obviously it would have been nice, but hindsight 2020 with all those injuries you mentioned with Grant Williams. So yeah, at one point it was higher, but at the end of the day, you got to do what you got to do. You can't go back in time. None of us can build a time machine, unfortunately. So you just got to trade away Kuz and just cut your losses.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. You get what you can, and like I said, but that mirrors what Bradley Beal, where we were in such desperation at the last minute, where we had to take, and it wasn't a bad deal. I mean, you got Chris Paul, a future Hall of Famer, but then you flip him for JP. So, and that's what I'm saying. That this front office has shown they can do it. They can handle the situation. So, I mean, there's reports now that Bradley Beal, they're trying to move him. They're trying to get him to waive that no trade clause to get Jimmy Butler in Phoenix. So now they're dealing with the situation. So you've got to get Will Dawkins his flowers. I mean, if anything, if you're still a skeptic, you still got to give him his flowers just from getting out from under the Bradley Beal contract, because that contract was going to weigh us down for some years, man. And we are going to be trying to hit that 8th seed and try to get that plan for years on.
I warned my friends that are Phoenix Suns fans. They said, yeah, we're going to the I told them, bro, just wait. It's Bradley Beal.
Oh, yeah. Let's give him some time. And like I said, before we move on, man, like I said, you can't take away the importance of both Bradley Beal and Kyle Kuzma, what they've done here in the district. Very active off the court, giving back to the community. Never going to take away from that, man. But like I said, it's time. It's time. This is time to move on from Kuz. Time to get some value from Jonas Valanciunas. Time to get some value from Michael Brogdon. Throw Johnny Davis up in there. I mean, even Patrick Bone Jr. Look, get some value for these guys, because if you clearly do not see them as a future, get value for them, and let's start this youth movement, because the 2025 draft and the 2026 draft, man, those are the finishing touches. Like I said, the Bonsa in 2026 and Cooper Flag there is talent in these next two drafts that if you add them to the current young core, this is going to be a young, dangerous team in the Eastern Conference in the next in 3 years from now, in my opinion. We just need that chemistry and experience. So, yeah, I'm with you on that, man. So we're going to get into comments. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by Robinhood. All right, guys, with Robinhood Gold, you don't need a silver spoon to eat up the financial favors of the 1%. Robinhood Gold allows others to get the rates and perks usually reserved for the high society. Now, the resourceful individual with Robinhood Gold can earn the very liberal rate of 4.25 APY on uninvested cash and be rewarded with a handsome 3% retirement boost on IRA account contributions. Woo! Robinhood Gold provides the privileges of the high net worth for any net worth. These generous benefits are now available for only $5 a month. Good Lord, $5 a month. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. Sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Terms apply. For product-specific disclosures, visit Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Do not forget that. Rate may change. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold, LLC. All right, man, let's get back into this. So let's get in the comments. Time to celebrate, guys. I know we are 5-22, man. But look, it's wins like this to really solidify that culture. And I know y'all tired of hearing me talk about culture, but hey, that's where we're at, guys. So let's see. Booker Getter kicks everything off. And obviously this comment was from early on. It says pre-game, pre-pool party, pre-dub. Let's go Wiz. I mean, you could argue that Bucket Getter called it, man. I'm just saying, AB, like he kind of called it on here, man. So hey, shout out to Bucket Getter, man. Shout out to Bucket Getter. Let's see. Gideon, how you doing tonight, man? This game was like a shooting fest between Poole and Bilal versus LaMelo and Brandon Miller. Man, look, LaMelo Ball has not met a shot he didn't like. I tell you right now. I mean, he shoots that thing from the logo. I mean, if I was just his coach, man, I'd be mad. Because I was laughing with my wife, man. It's like with him and Jordan Poole, it's like when you see him shoot those threes, like, good Lord, I can't say anything because they make them. But then,
it's like when you're playing pickup in like your local rec. It's like that one guy where it's like, yo, what are you doing? But he makes it, and you just can't say anything.
You can't get mad, man, because at first I was like, oh no, don't shoot that. And then he mixes like, what can you say to that? But we know the current era of basketball, man. 3-point shooting is it right now. And like I said, either you love it or you hate it. It's one of those things right now where old heads like myself hate it. Newer heads are kind of like, this is the game now. This is a perimeter-driven league. So I'm an old head. I'm an 85 baby. I like my old school basketball, but then I'm a guy that understands that, look, progression, and not to say that it's better or worse. It's just another era in basketball, man. We've had different eras people forget there was a time when there was no 3-point line. I mean, there was a time where, the free throw line, you could bounce it off and make a layup. I mean, it's a totally different league, and it continues to, progress, man. So, but Jordan Poole in that 3-point shot, I mean, good Lord, man. Because at first, I mean, messes with your head a little bit, because at first, when it was like, I believe it was like 13 seconds left, he shoots that three. It's like, no, that's it, man. The ball bobbles around. Bilal dives to the floor, gets it to Malcolm Brogdon. And, the whole HJ was Sar putting it back in. And then JB hitting that three. He's like, good Lord. I mean, he's money, man. And I find myself very impressed with, his makeup this year. Jordan Poole's really put the work in, man. And to me, that counts a lot more than on-court production to a certain degree. Just the fact that last year was such a bad year, up and down, to put that work in, because a lot of young players in this league, man, confidence is the name of the game. Ben Simmons, we still wait on him. He had that jump shot. And something tells me we're probably going to be waiting for a while. Man,
I'm sorry, B. The wait is over. We out the waiting room, man.
Look, I'm just telling you, man, you'll be waiting for a while tonight, man. So, Kenny, how you doing tonight, man? Says, good win tonight. The Wiz fought hard tonight. Yeah, absolutely. If you take the third quarter out, this was a really good game. Now, you got to play 4 quarters. That's my only negative tonight. You got to play 4 quarters. After the half, they made those adjustments, and they made that run, and they made the game a lot closer than it should have been, because we were clearly controlling the game the first 2 quarters, man. So Jose's crisis corner. I like it. Jordan Poole's blind squirrel technique, hero ball, 3-point shooting is not the answer. His bad shot selection could have easily lost his game. Trade him with a stock is high. I mean, look, I respect that take. I mean, like I said, that's the beautiful thing about having an opinion. We all got it, and look, I love dialogue. I respect that. Now, it's like we were both saying, AB. It's one of those things where it's like, if it goes in, it's like, yay. If it doesn't go in, it's like, yo, what are you doing? So it's just like anything in life, man, right? It's like if you jaywalk and you make it across the street like a Frogger, then it's like, yo. But if you don't, you learn a lesson that day, right? So it's just one of those things, man. I do agree shot selection at times, but I mean, he's making them. I mean, like I said, I do agree. I totally agree 100%. Shot selection at times can be frustrating with JP, man. But like I said, he's hitting these hard shots. So, I mean, I guess let me play devil's advocate. You definitely want to see him kind of shoot more high percentage shots. Absolutely agree with that. Trade him with a sucker's hot. You can't argue with that. I mean, like I said, I think he's the future here in DC amongst other people. If you need that guy you need that veteran guy who hasn't hit his prime yet, you got it in JP. You got Anthony Gill. I mean, but on the flip side of that coin, the business in the NBA is the better he is, the more interest he's going to get. And I think we talked about this before, AB, which was, we both saw a situation where you very well could see him getting moved before Kyle Kuzma, because you could argue that his trade value is probably higher than Kyle Kuzma's at this point, man. And like I said, Kyle Kuzma, yes, Kyle Kuzma having the dip in production, and the injuries are really taking a toll. I think the injuries are the biggest factor of why his trade value has gone down. So, Bobby Johnson, how you doing tonight? Champagne needs a standard ASAP. No way he goes from starting and closing out games on defense and not getting one. Way too good to send back to the G. I agree 100%. What do you think, AB?
Yeah, no, Champagne. I mean, I honestly like what a young guy that we have here in DC. Not honestly, like as much as we like talking about JP, a guy that I've been going out for a while, one that I like to talk about. I mean, his presence on the court is just a different vibe, and his ability to make an impact, even when he's not a big name guy, even when he's not considered the young core here in DC, it's just something you just can't forget, and you have to talk about.
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Look at this Champagne, man. Sign him. I've seen enough. He produces. He plays hard-nosed basketball. You can stretch the floor. You defend. He's versatile. I mean, Champagne has played well, and it's a testament to the Cap City Go-Go. I mean, new GM now. You got Jonathan Wall. It ain't John Wall. Ain't the John Wall y'all thinking of. But Jonathan Wall's doing a great job taking this torch from Amber Nichols, man. And what they've done with the Cap City Go-Go is tantamount to getting these guys ready for when the call happens, they play at a high level. I mean, it was Jordan Goodwin, right? And then who was it? Jared Butler. Now you got Justin Champagne. You got guys who are called upon, come up to the NBA level, and they play meaningful basketball. They play high-level basketball. Champagne, sign him. Bring him back. He's part of the future because his age, part of the timeline. His ability, we need versatile guys who can stretch the floor, who can defend. He's part of what the Wizards are trying to do. So I'm with you on that, man. Jag says, give me my floaties for this pool party. Yes, sir. The pool party is in full effect, baby. Let's see. Bucket Getter says, definitely can see he was playing through pain. Absolutely. I've been telling y'all for a while. 6 straight 25-point games, and Bilal with another 20. Sar looking great. We're cooking, y'all. It takes time. We are definitely headed in the right direction, everybody. We are definitely heading in the right direction. I'm telling you. After this deadline, you're gonna see more of a clear picture of what the future team is gonna look like. Obviously, it's subject to what the offseason. Don't see us very active in free agency. The trade, in the offseason, we'll see. I'd see, if we are active in trades and offseason players that could be dealt. Corey Kispert could be a guy who kind of like Poole is a gray area guy where you can see him being here long term, but you also see where he could be a tradable commodity. So we're in a good position. Jordan Poole. If you're a skeptic last year, I get it, AB. I get it. If you're still a skeptic this year, I don't get it. I don't get it. He's proven time and time again that he could play at a high level. I'm not a skeptic. I'm a true believer that Jordan Poole could be a contributor here long term in DC, but I also think that. Looking for trade wise, look, it is what it is. You find a deal that you can't, it's too good to pass up. Maybe you make that deal. But like I said, if you got a guy who's just good before he hits his prime, you hold on to players like that. Like I said, when you add that with Blau breaking out in year 2, Alex Sarr, man, he is improving. It goes back to certain factors, AP. Brian Keefe is getting the most out of these guys. You see Sarr has improved over the course of, how many games are we in? And he has improved over the course of weeks, man. Like the offense, he's starting to, get into the paint. He's trying to be more productive as far as scoring in the paint, man. So he's improving his game.
Remember, after the summer league, people were calling for this dude's name. That one summer league game that Sarr had, I was crazy.
Look, man, it's way too early. Way too early to judge any of it, man. I mean, to call this man a bust after 5 summer league games, man, shame on you. I mean, shame on you. I mean, the kid can play. Just needs time. Just needs to be developed. That's it. There's a reason why they got him at two overall. Let's be real. And there's a reason why Atlanta had him on the radar at 1. There's a reason for that. Because if he does not cancel that workout, Reese Shea or Clingan are probably on the Wizards right now. I mean, let's be real. Like that's one factor to push in the number 2, which was him not going at a workout. Without the workout, you probably have Bilal at the 2 and Reese Shea at the 3, or you have Clingan as the starting center. So, like I said, there's a reason why we got him at 2. Let's see. All right, everybody, you guys know I can't get every comment, man. I hate that, man. But like I said, I got to try to keep this short, man. A couple of the same comments right here, not only from Miko Pamoy and Bucket Getter, both echoing that Jordan Poole is an all-star if he continues. Like, team performance is going to be that one factor that keeps him out of it, man. But like I said, I mean, he's proven that he's playing at all-star level. It's not even close, man. They really are. Madrox was right, kind of bringing us down to earth a little bit. Both teams suck. If it weren't for the Troy Weaver factor, I would say the Wizards have an unquestionable better future than the Hornets. Still think the Hornets are worse, though. We're better than the Hornets. And like I said, it was a good win tonight because my wife is from Charlotte and she's a Charlotte Hornets fan. So I don't know what's better, us beating them twice or watching the Commanders beat the Panthers. Good year to watch my wife cry. I don't want to see my wife crying, but that's the only time I want to see that, man. Love you, baby. But it is what it is on that front. Let's see, guys. My guy, No Breaks New, man. And I say it every episode. If you don't listen or watch this podcast, you're doing yourself a disservice. Don't do that to yourself. Check out my man, No Breaks New, man. He says, great dub. Like our first half defense is pool party in my city. Yeah, baby. The more I watch, I need to see size so we can stop putting shooting guards at the 4. Yeah, I'm back on Ace over Dylan for need. Yeah, I can see that, man. All right, AB. What do you think, man? I know last night, AB, they rode with 3 guards. I was not in favor of that. I kind of echo Scott Brooks putting in 3 guards, man. I get there's a lot of injuries, man, but I think that tonight was the best lineup, bringing Brogdon off the second. What do you think? You think there's a situation where 3 guards make sense?
Yeah, I've never been a fan of it, and I agree with you. It kind of I thought Scott Brooks was coaching for a second. I just feel like especially in today's NBA, I mean, it doesn't really make any sense at all. And the back on Ace over Dylan for need. I'm college basketball, bro. Like I'm telling you, Brandon, I can't wait till March, bro, because that's when I'm really gonna hone in on these draft prospects.
I mean, yeah, that's the true time where you can really judge a lot of these guys under the bright lights of the NCAA tournament or the NIT. I mean, I guess, but I mean, the NCAA tournament, man, that's where you really judge this talent, man. Are they ready to contribute at the highest level? Because look, you could argue that the pros is different, man. Every night is the NCAA tournament. Now, Cap 1 probably closer to the NIT, but it is what it is, AB. It is what it is. Let's see, guys. We're gonna try to knock out 2 to 3 more comments. Like I said, if it was my wish, man, I would try to answer everybody's, man. Dan Tico84 says trade Kuz to the Kings for Herter and Lyles. Oh, yeah, that's mine. And a first, or the Rockets for Jabari Smith, and a first, or the Pacers for Jarris Walker and a first and a player. I like all 3, man. Jarris Walker, that's one trade I talked about previously. To me, Sacramento makes sense. Herter, Lyles, both Herter's on a 2-year contract, and Lyles is an expiring contract. You get a first-round pick. But there's a lot going on in Sacramento, AB. I know that right now Fox may be tradable. I mean, there's reports that he may be on his way out. So we'll see, man. We'll see what direction Sacramento really wants to go, because I think they're a team that could really be a nice young team, man. So I don't really want to see them trade De'Aaron Fox, to be honest with you. Let's see. Try to knock out a few more guys. Like I said, I hate to miss anybody's comments, man. Let's see. Stuart O'Flaherty, how you doing tonight? It says trade Kuzma to a contender for a first-round pick 10 years from now and be done with it. I'm with it. Maybe Kuz will be doing the broadcast by the time he plays. Okay, I can rock with it. Yeah, man. Let's see. I'm gonna try to do 2 more AB and call it a night, man. Dan S says Kuzma not worth 2 firsts. Best you're getting is the one lightly protected and a decent young kid. I'm with you, man. I think that realistically, because of his contract, you're going to look at some aspiring contracts. So you're probably looking at 1 or 2 aspirings, maybe a young prospect and maybe a first, but 2 firsts are out the window. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. So we must well just be real with ourselves and what our expectations are, man, because you are not getting 2 firsts, man. Let's see. Miko Pamoy says they should have kept Denny over Kuz. I think a lot of people kind of echo that sentiment, man, but it is what it is on that front. And look, Denny been playing some good basketball in Portland as of late, man. So he's definitely getting more comfortable in Portland, man. But that ship has sailed, and it is what it is. Let's see. One more comment, man. Oh man, that's a nice comment. Show me some love, man. Alex in Adelaide says Brandon looks sharp with no hat and no hat. Appreciate you, man. Got my little shirt on. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate the love, man. Let's see. This will be the last one for the night. All right. Poole Bali. Love that name, man. I was never a Poole skeptic. He's an ascending player and arguably just as good as LaMelo Ball, whom has played the lead role his entire career. Okay, this is another conversation I had with my wife, man, because she loves herself some LaMelo Ball. If you're watching, she's gonna get on me. I agree 100%. LaMelo Ball just he doesn't. To me, he doesn't. I'm gonna ask you, AB. I mean, does LaMelo Ball echo a guy that you can put the game on the shoulders and lead a franchise? I think you may want to trade him at some point. I mean, I think it's the Brandon Miller and Tizon Shalom show, man. What do you think?
I mean, honestly, I've said for a good minute now that he needs to get out of Charlotte, just because I think historically it's just Charlotte. I mean, what you're gonna do there? As bad as Washington's been the last couple of years, we weren't the Bobcats at one point, and that history was just abysmal. So if I'm LaMelo, that's a good question, honestly. I mean, again, like his play style, can he be a guy that could take you to a championship and win it for the city? I don't know, but I just don't think he's gonna be able to do it in Charlotte. And I think you go with guys like Brandon Miller and the other guy that you mentioned.
Yeah, before we roll, man, hot take. Next offseason, Charlotte trades LaMelo to Golden State for Stephen Curry. And, yep, he's going to bring him home to Charlotte, man. They're going to send LaMelo and Mark Williams because they need a center over there. Lord have mercy. So that's a hot take, man. They're going to trade him. They're going to trade him to Golden State.
Yeah, that is hot. That is hot.
Yeah, man. Hey, because Steph is from Charlotte, man. His dad's a former Hornet. His brothers are already on the team. Bring him home.
And a former Hokie, too. Can't forget that, B.
There you go, man. And look, his dad is actually from Harrisonburg, Virginia, right here in the Shenandoah Valley, Virginia. So there's local ties, man. So, all right, guys, we're going to go ahead and call it a night. Definitely appreciate everybody taking time out of their night, man, to rock with me and AB. The Wizards night, again, Jordan Poole hit that game winner as the Wizards beat the Charlotte Hornets 113-110, 6 Wizards in double figures. All right, everybody, we will see you guys tomorrow night. We have special guest Troy Halliburton on the show. And we're going to talk about Kyle Kuzma, Jordan Poole, and everything in between, man. So let's get into it. Definitely tune in for that. All right, everybody, hail to the Wizards, and peace. See everybody next time.